Good morning. We'll continue with our story or the outline story of Hayavadana. After the mix up of the heads on the two bodies, there is the argument and the solution. They, however, soon realize that it cannot go on like this. So there is a question that whose wife is Padmini now? Devdutt's, whose head has been transposed on Kapil's body, or Kapil with Devdutt's body? The argument ends with the solution offered by a sage that since the head is the topmost limb of the human body and Kapil's body had Devdutt's head, Padmini rightfully belongs to the new Devdutt. The new Kapila with Devdutt's body is disheartened. He decides to stay back in the forest and cut himself off from all worldly ties while Padmini happily returns to the city with Devdutt. She has best of both the worlds now. This is perhaps what she wanted throughout. This is because Devdutt had the intellect and learning combined with Kapil's strong and muscular body. Next is the dolls. In due course, Padmini has a son that both she and her husband dote upon. But Padmini starts missing in longing for Kapila after some time. Her anguish is conveyed through the conversation between the two dolls that Devdutt brings for the child from the Ujjain fair. Padmini often dreams of Kapil now and making love to him, maybe because he has Devdutt's body. Devdutt initially takes to Kapil's pursuits like wrestling and is quite pleased at his physical prowess. But soon he also craves for his body and he is back to his lethargic and easygoing self. He devotes himself to his original Brahmanical pursuits and often snaps at Padmini when she exhorts him to continue activities involving physical skills and outdoor activities. The dolls, all this through this struggle, are neglected. They are dirty and in tatters. Padmini looks at them and asks her husband to go to the Ujjain fair again and get new dolls for the child. Devdutt reluctantly agrees and leaves. Padmini and Kapila. Since Devdutt is likely to be away for 4 to 5 days, Padmini sees in his absence from home a chance to fulfill her longing for Kapil. She goes into the dense forest looking for Kapil, the one with Kapil's head and Devdutt's body. Kapil tells her how difficult it has been for him to adjust to Devdutt's slender and delicate body and how he has adapted it to the rigors of the hard life he has been leading in the forest. He asks Padmini to go away because he has obliterated all memories of the past and is happy living in the forest all by himself. He has also snapped all links with his family. Padmini, however, is keen to spend some time with him. She tells him that since she is tired from traveling all the way to the forest, she will rest for some time before returning back. Kapil relents and that proves to be his undoing. Padmini and he start living in his hut in the forest, showering affection. The child, Padmini, who had been feeling incomplete all the while, finally finds fulfillment. Next is the duel. Padmini's happiness is short lived as Devdutt, who with the sword in one hand and dolls in the other, comes to the forest looking for her and the child. He is after Kapila's blood for living in sin with his wife. But as soon as he sees his old friend with his wife, and both of them deeply in love with each other, he softens. He tells them that he has come there only to hand over the dolls to the child. Devdutt and Kapil realize the dilemma they are in, since both of them love Padmini and want to be with her. Since this was not possible because the social norms and conventions were such, they decided to fight a duel. Both of them die and Padmini is left alone again. She bemoans her fate. She admits that she is still incomplete after having lived with 4 men in a lifetime. Devdutt and Kapil, Devdutt with Kapil's body and Kapil with Devdutt's body. Why couldn't the 3 of them have lived together like the 5 Pandav brothers in Draupadi as in Mahabharata? She thinks about that. The Sati. Padmini hands over her son to the Bhagavat and she prepares to perform Sati with the bodies of both Devdutt and Kapil. Though it was strange situation, as a devoted wife is traditionally performs Sati for her husband, but for her the predicament, as she mixed up the heads of Devdutt and Kapil in the darkness of the Kali temple, she requests the Bhagavat to hand over her child to the tribesmen in the forest, and when he is 5, send him to his grandparents in Dharampur. Hayavadan again. The story is about to end as the Bhagavat wraps up his narration, but another actor appears on the scene. He tells Bhagavat that he has heard a horse singing national song stopped by the national anthem. Bhagavat is reminded of Hayavadan, whom he had sent to the Kali temple earlier in the search of completeness. Hayavadan has now become a complete horse but with a human voice, which he has been trying to get rid of by singing national songs, because he has been told that this would make his voice hoarse. Padmini's child appears on the stage. He is now 5. But he is a sullen and morose child who doesn't speak or laugh, and he keeps clutching his dolls all the time. The Bhagavat identifies him by the mole on his shoulder, similar to the one Kapil had. The child laughs at Hayavadan's incongruity. A horse singing in human voice? He prods and urges Hayavadan to continue singing till Hayavadan starts neighing like a horse. He has become complete. Not a complete man, but a complete horse. He runs to the forest and the child is sent to his grandfather, the revered Brahman Vidyasagar at Dharampur. Unfathomable indeed are the ways of the elephant-headed Lord Ganesha, concludes the Bhagavat. Thank you.